Ethics for Public Administration, a corruption case local in engineering and construction field, and Investment Holding 2. The background and scenario. Invest Holding 2 is a company incorporated in late 2006 as the commercial investment holding company created to oversee and encourage regional development of South Johor. This case was registered under Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC). In December 2011, in connection with a construction project to establish a boarding school in a town Johor, 2 people were charged in court with corruption offence. Mr. R, the former vice president of one of the subsidiaries of Investment Holding 2, pleaded guilty to seek bribes over the construction project. He had paid a fine of 20,000 ringgit. On the other hand, Mr. S was convicted in the session courts on 3 counts of soliciting and accepting bribes from the Engineering Neighbourhood, a construction firm. Next is the analysis of the case study. Firstly, abuse of power. Mr. R, a former vice president of one branch Investment Holdings 2, abused his power in connection with a construction project to construct a boarding school in a town Johor. Secondly, receiving a bribe in getting projects. Mr. S was convicted at the session court on 3 charges of soliciting and accepting bribes from the construction firm The Engineering Neighbourhood to win a contract worth 40.8 million. Next is use of middleman. Mr. M, as a middleman, was reported to have received compensation from one Mr. Z for the second charge as a bribe to help the company get the contract. Moving forward to the next discussion is about theories that learned in ethics for public administration that related to the case study. The first theory that is related is consequentialist theory, theory of morality, teleological. This theory can be shown by ethical egoism when a former vice president in one of the investment holding 2 who has a position in an organization abuses their power in order to grab whatever opportunity for his own benefits. In addition, the theory that is related to this case study is non-consequentialist theory, deontological. These theories can be divided into 2 sub-theories, which is divine command theory and Kant's duty ethics. Divine command theory can be shown when Mr. S' allegations about soliciting and receiving bribes from the building indicate that he has no strong faith in religion. Meanwhile, Kant's duty ethics theory explains that individuals cannot use others for their benefits. In this case, it's the use of middlemen to get the project. Corruption is a crime that will destroy the morals of society and even destroy the country. Corruption has had a devastating effect on society and the nation. Among these are corruption activities that disrupt the functioning of an organization. The administration of the country will be subject to corruption. The leaders of the countries involved in corruption will be selfish without regard to the interests of the people. As a result, the people will lose confidence and trust to leaders. This will affect the administration of the country. A peaceful country needs the support and confidence of the people in the leaders. Therefore, there are few impacts when corruption occurs not only in one organization but also to the society and nation. The first one, corruption has led to mess up in the administration of the country. One of the causes of corruption is the weakness of law enforcement. The country needs to be ensured that laws are more effective and tightened in cases of corruption. More severe penalties should be given to corruption offenders. Secondly, corruption has caused disadvantages to country, especially in the economy. Foreign investors will be worried about investing because of the symptoms of the corruption and will not be interested in investing. This will be detrimental to the developing world. Thirdly, the cost of the development project will also increase due to out-of-pocket expenses, such as consulting expenses at luxury hotels, as well as gift money for the official dealing with the projects. Last but not least, the impacts of corruption are creating unethical people. The good manners and personalities of a human being will be damaged if they are bribed with money or material. Corruption recipients are also willing to do anything, including murder. This action occurs when there is discontent and anger. Fighting corruption is not a magic bullet. Many countries have made considerable strides in curbing corruption, but practitioners are still searching for solutions and proof of impact. Effective compliance is vital to ensuring that the guilty are disciplined and break the cycle of immunity or freedom from penalty of failure. Efficient compliance strategies are assisted by a clear legislative structure, divisions of law enforcement, and an independent, effective judicial system. Apart from that, the Anti-Corrupt and Ethics Ace from the Nation Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) initiate the process to understand the industry, the existing measures within the industry, and identify the high-risk areas as well as loopholes for corruption. They assume to make some research on the industry by using the analysis of inspection and investigation papers, cases, and other relevant documents to identify the major problem areas. In the meanwhile, workers are responsible to behave ethically. By having proactive working attitude will strengthen the execution of law and regulation and reduce the luck-dependent mentality of some people and hence decrease the chance of corruption or taking the risk of being involved in corruption. Not only that, government should pay more attention to the development of a healthy construction culture. They are supposed to put more effort into promoting honest and healthy rights all the time, morally and ethically, also culturally. When doing so, few issues should be considered just as crucial in political leadership and top management commitment, assess vulnerability and identify corruption risk factors. On the other hand, by enhancing financial management and strengthening the role of auditing agencies, it can prevent corruption cases from happening. One such reform is the disclosure of information on the budget which prevent waste and resource misappropriation. For example, Transparency International Sri Lanka encouraged open and participatory budgeting by training of local communities to vote on their local government proposed budget. In conclusion, corruption is a slow poison that destroys the developing nation's government, culture, and economy. Corruption also destroys justice, morality, which harms society. Despite of that, the Community Education Division was formed to fulfill the functions and roles set out two sections. First one, Section 7F of the Nation Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009, which is to educate the public against corruption. And secondly, Section 7G, which aims to obtain and encourage public support in the fight against corruption. Given all of the statements mentioned before, government, officials, opposition leaders, NGOs, and the people have a common duty to tackle corruption as stakeholders. Corruption is a silent killer who must be killed before our country is slowly demolished.